The grain liquor that is China's national spirit is known for its potency. To investors, the companies that distill the alcohol known as baijiu also pack quite the punch. E-Fund Management Co.'s Xiao Nan, a top fund manager in China, describes the sector's business model as stand still and collect money. His E-Fund Consumption Industry Equity Fund has returned 52% over 3 years through May 4, the best performance among 161 A-share funds with at least 3 years of history and more than 1 billion yuan $159 million of assets, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. About a third of his portfolio are baijiu stocks like Kuaijiao Moutai Co. and Wuliang Co., which have both been on bull runs over the last 3 years. It is a very unique sector in China with a very attractive business model, he said in an interview. In or outside China, it's hard to find a similar sector to invest in. Despite their strong returns and high cash flow, Chinese distillers are trading at a substantial discount to domestic brewers. Shares of China Resources Beer Holdings Co. and Tsingtao Brewery Co. trade at 37 times and 36 times blended forward 12-month earnings, compared with 21 times for Moutai as well as Wuliang. More attractive, this is notwithstanding a beer market that's shrinking in volume and fierce competition from foreign companies like Anheuser-Busch InBev NV, said Ewan McLeish, an analyst at Hong Kong-based Sanford C. Bernstein. The fundamentals for high-end baijiu is so much more attractive than the brewers at way cheaper prices, he said. There's a real contradiction there between what the same pool of investors are willing to pay. China's baijiu stocks also trade at a discount to global liquor distilling peers like Brown-Forman Corp. and Remy Cointreau. Even though the shares of the two Chinese ultra-premium distillers, Moutai and Wuliang, have both risen more than 170% in the last 3 years, their price-to-earnings multiple has lagged the top 20 biggest distillers and vintners in the world. China's biggest liquor companies trade at a discount to global peers. Source: Bloomberg data. Investors' caution, reflected in valuation discount carried by baijiu stocks, may have to do with the sector's rocky recent history. Bottles of Moutai and Wuliang were popular indulgences among government officials up until Chinese President Xi Jinping's crackdown on corruption in 2012, which triggered a plunge in shares of baijiu producers. Even after revenue recovered, investors remained sensitive to any hint of regulatory risk. Last year, Moutai stocks briefly lost $6 billion of value after state media Xinhua said that analysts' valuations were overly high, but demand from government officials for baijiu, which is traditionally served together with big meals and imbibe pure, has been replaced by sales to an emerging middle class that can now afford premium liquor for celebrations. In China, baijiu is not just a luxury good but an important social tool, said Xiao. Opening a bottle of premium baijiu is the highest sign of respect given to a guest. Moutai and Wuliang enjoy pricing power. After Moutai boosted bottle prices by a fifth this year, first quarter profit jumped 39% and revenue climbed 32%. Their strong free cash flow is generally distributed in dividends rather than tied up in investments, another plus point, said Xiao. Changing taste. Moutai's earnings have grown 64% in the last 12 months, beating 81% of its peers globally, as its operating margin reaches 75%, higher than 99% of its peers, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. In the long run, baijiu's tradition-steeped ways could prevent distillers from easily adapting to the changing palates of globalized young Chinese, said Capital Securities analyst Gu Xiaojun. China's biggest distillers have much more cash in hand than its brewer. Source: company data compiled by Bloomberg. Several Chinese distillers may also face supply-side constraints. Moutai, for example, uses only grain grown in Moutai town, and can only produce 60,000 metric tons of liquor at the maximum based on the land it controls. It's still 53% away from that limit and is going into new business areas. For now, many analysts see more upside in the stock price of Moutai, which overtook Diageo plc as the world's most valuable distiller. Analysts have a 12-month price target of 831 yuan and 21 cents, implying a return of 25% from current levels. Moutai boasts 28 buys, 2 holds and no sells, according to analyst recommendations compiled by Bloomberg. Moutai's upward climb is a bellwether for the sector, said Capital Securities Gu. Moutai acts as a ceiling for baijiu stocks. The higher it goes, the more space there is for the rest, with assistance by Rachel Chong, Cindy Wang, and Xin Pei.